Top of the morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time of the day it is in your part of the world as you listen to this. This is Podcast Unlocked. My name's Ryan McCaffrey. It's episode 204.
Woo! Hee-haw!
That means nothing.
That means nothing. I don't know. It's something. That means something to us.
It's a fine number.
Marty Sleva, good to see you, my friend.
Yeah, I feel like I haven't been here in a while. I was Comic-Conning. I'm a jet setter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're like Pitbull.
I'm like Pitbull?
Yeah.
The rapper?
The rapper.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
Traveling across the globe with champagne in your hand, just partying on a Learjet.
Yep, that's my life.
That's you.
Yeah.
I see that.
Mr. Worldwide, Mr. 405, is that his thing?
I think we're aging ourselves right now.
A lot.
What do the kids listen to?
A lot. Jared Penny.
Yeah, glad to be here.
Making
Thank you.
a rare but a highly welcome appearance.
Well, thank you for welcoming me. Thank you for inviting me, Ryan. I love being on Unlocked.
Appreciate you being here. All these other slackers who couldn't be on the show today.
We have live
Mitch.
streams. We have appointments.
We have jobs.
I am always glad to be your fifth stringer.
There you
Come
go.
on. This is your job.
Yeah.
You'd be on this show.
It's
Yeah.
one of those. This summer has been just nonstop. Like, usually after E3, there's a lull, but there just hasn't been between.
Well, that's because there are now more conventions than there are days in the year.
It's insane.
I completely agree. So I have a theory, which you guys are probably sick of hearing, because I know I've mentioned this like every year, but I will put it out there for the public at large. Americans are, by survey after survey, like the least happy, most overworked people on the planet. Europeans, meanwhile, go on holiday for like 3 weeks in August. I say, now it's too late for this year, unless we want to just start tomorrow, but I think starting 4th of July, America should just more or less, everybody should just sort of go on holiday we should get like 2 or 3 weeks vacation. Everybody comes back August 1st, ready, recharge and ready
Big fan of that. Yeah, the game industry should be like, hey, there's not going to be any news.
Correct.
No one's going to get laid off.
Correct.
No games are going to come out or announced. Just go.
I think it's a good plan. We just sort of have an American Obon, just a great summer festival.
Yeah,
Go
I'm
out,
not
enjoy
just
some
talking about
fireworks.
IGN. I'm talking about America.
Okay.
Yeah, America in general. Everybody. Just close all the convenience stores. Let everybody go home and rest. We'll just stock up on food for 3 weeks beforehand.
Keep the bars open, though.
Well, what about the people in the service industry? They need a break, too, though.
Yeah, but that will just at least keep the doors unlocked.
Keep the doors unlocked. It's an honor system.
Put a key under the mat.
Yeah, just put a key under the mat and a little dish said, leave your money here, take the booze.
Replace the bartenders with locked vending machines.
Yeah.
That works.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm a big fan of this plan. I think a giant summer break. I lived in a country for a while where they took these breaks. I lived in Japan for about 3 years.
Yeah.
And Japanese people do work very hard, or at least they work very long hours, but they also have significant holidays every month of the year and a couple of very long breaks where the entire country pretty much shuts down. And it's wonderful.
And the UK has, because we have our counterparts over in the UK, they're on bank holiday like once a month, where they get a Monday off just for no reason.
Every scientific study on this ever done shows that it helps productivity and improves people's quality of life and actually benefits the businesses that give their people more time. So, the only thing standing in the way is logic and science.
Yeah. This message brought to you by McCaffrey Petty 2016.
That's
right.
Yeah.
Hey, forget it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna
you were about to say Donald Trump. Great minds.
Great minds think alike. But yeah, so while we can't all take 3 weeks off for the summer, I am actually going to be gone for a week, but it won't impact the show. I'll be back in time for next week's show. I'm very stoked. I'm going to New Jersey / New York, my birthplace, where I was originally from, spend some time with the family, and then I'm nerding out baseball style, going up to Cooperstown, the Baseball Hall of Fame, for the induction of Randy Johnson, arguably the greatest left-handed pitcher ever, and the first and only Arizona Diamondback to be inducted. Probably going to be the only one for at least 20 or 30 years.
Also the only one referred to as the big unit.
Yeah.
I mean, just glorious.
Well, that's your nickname. You've done something well in life, clearly.
That's a weird freaking nickname.
You're either a 6'10" pitcher who strikes people out, or a porn star.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
Those don't have to be mutually exclusive.
Either way, you've won life.
And when you look at Randy Johnson, you believe he could have followed either of those career paths, honestly.
Have you been spending time in the Diamondbacks locker room?
It's Randy that hit the bird, right?
Yep.
Yeah. That's wow, what a strange coincidence that was.
Fun fact about that, I just saw a little mini documentary on ESPN about Randy Johnson, and he has taken up photography in his baseball retirement years. Like, apparently he was always interested in photography, even in college, but then baseball, of course, captured his full-time attention. So now he's doing photography full time. He goes to. He's the 6'10" guy in front of you photographing the rock show. Like, hey, buddy, down in front. But yeah, he's got his own little photography company, and the logo for his company is a dead bird. It is like a cartoonish overturned bird. That's been plastered by Randy's own.
Yeah, I don't ever want to condone the needless destruction of animals, but that was a strange event. Just watching that happen was it's like how what are the odds? What things had to come together in the universe to make that occur?
It's unfortunate that occurred in 2001. Pre-high def, and it was also a spring training game.
Yeah.
So there is a video on YouTube, but it's pretty poor quality. Like it's real. It happened.
Yeah.
But
for those of you unfamiliar with this, a bird flew right across the line of one of his pitches in front of the batter's box, and the pitch hit the bird perfectly, and the bird exploded.
Yeah.
So again, Randy Johnson, especially in 2001, at the peak of his powers, that was the year the Diamondbacks went on to win the World Series. So he's unleashing what was probably a 96 or so mile an hour fastball. Ball comes out of his hand, batter's waiting for it, catcher's waiting for it, and then all you see, the ball just drops. I think it might have even just disappeared. I don't even know.
Yeah, there's just feathers everywhere.
And then
all of a
just
sudden,
boom, you just see this explosion.
I love how everyone's
feathers.
just like, what just happened? Like, what? Did the ball explode? Yeah,
I don't even remember how they scored that. Like, was that a no pitch? Was that a ball, a strike? I would presume they had to.
There's an interference rule for a pitch, isn't there? Yeah, I believe you get a no fault on interference.
That would seem to make the most
in
sense.
mid-pitch. I think that's how the rules work.
In any case, we'll move on with the show. Not a ton going on this week. We'll get to some Gearbox stuff in a second. Some good news, as far as I'm concerned, about an old series that I am quite a big fan of. But just to follow up on last week's show, we gave our Xbox games of the year so far.
Nice.
For the things that we thought were highest on the list. And from our listeners, the most common replies were two that we cited as well: The Witcher 3 and Ori and the Blind Forest.
Nice.
I love Ori.
Hard to argue with those.
I think Ori would be mine as well.
Yeah, that's it's just good stuff. If you have not played Ori or The Witcher, the drought of summer is the best time to do it.
Yeah,
Pick those
absolutely.
games
Yeah,
up.
get it before September, because that's when everything.
That's when
all hell breaks loose.
pretty much.
There is no reason to own an Xbox One and not have played Ori.
Yeah.
It's too
completely
wonderful.
agree with
You've
that.
got to go play that game.
Absolutely. All right, we will be right back with the news. All right, news time. Marty, put that phone away.
I'm looking up stuff for later on in the episode.
Oh, okay. All right, your work.
I'm doing good.
He's preparing himself to provide a better product to the good people who are watching the show.
I thought you were twittering or
I'm
flirting with
Snapchatting.
a lady friend.
Snapchatting? What is Snapchat? I've tried to understand that
just
many
for pictures
times.
of your wieners. Don't worry about it.
Really? Okay.
I don't know why I
So
said
is
wieners. That was
Does
weird.
Brett Favre
God.
wishes Snapchat had been invented in his day,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
If only.
Could have saved him a lot of trouble. All right. This week in Xbox news, Marty, I want to go to you first. This Gearbox CEO Randy Pitchford, who is a very outspoken gentleman, a guy I actually love talking to anytime I get the chance.
Fascinating interview.
Because he is not just vomiting up PR-fed answers. He will give you a real answer to your real question.
Yeah.
He's been on the show once before. He's been on Unlocked a while ago. But I hope to have him in again at some point before they get Battleborn out the door, which is, I think they said, is out this winter.
Yeah, winter 2015.
Which hopefully for them means early 2016, because I can't imagine shipping that new IP in the middle of this fourth quarter hell would be
we keep.
a good
I feel like we've talked about it in nearly every episode, but that dying light window right at the end of January. That's a nice bet.
Of course, the question is everybody going to go for the dying light window, thereby ruining the dying light window?
When Uncharted's in the dying light window, like, crap. Yeah.
So Randy Pitchford confirmed a new, quote, authentic Brothers in Arms game because, fun fact, Jared Petty, video game historian, there currently are Brothers in Arms games made by, I believe it's Gameloft for mobile. Like they're these junky little things that somehow with the licensing arrangement, Ubisoft published the original Brothers in Arms games. Anyway,
but now we're getting an authentic one. And by the way, Ryan, you're very kind honoring me with that title. But Brothers in Arms is a huge blind spot for me, so I'm fascinated. I want to hear. I know
you're
both
off
you
the
guys.
show.
Right?
Go ahead and
no,
leave.
but I know both of you guys. Both of you
check.
guys played this.
Yeah.
So I'm fascinated to know why I should care about this. I'd love to hear you tell me about what makes these games intriguing.
Yeah, it was in terms of I played on the original Xbox, and it was sort of the thinking man shooter.
Well, let's start by the fact it's a World War II shooter.
It's a World War II
which
shooter.
Is part of what makes this cool. But
it's because we don't get that anymore because everything's near future now.
Right.
It was a World War II shooter that had strategy elements as well. So you're playing the shooter, but you're also commanding your units, and you're telling your guys, hey, post up behind that wall, provide covering fire, then I'm going to flank.
Are we talking about like an original Rainbow Six style setup where you're setting it up on a map, or are we talking about just more of a point and command thing where you're able to tag spots and position people?
Yeah.
Okay.
You could tag spots and you could also zoom out.
There was a big overhead map.
Oh,
you could
nice.
pull out too.
Yeah.
It's sold.
Yeah, but it was like encounters felt more like these like puzzles almost.
Kind of.
In a really
that's
interesting
fair
way.
to say because you could get flanked or do the flanking.
Yeah.
And what was also cool about it is the games are completely historically based. They're based on real battles.
Excellent.
They went out and did a lot of real research on the terrain of Europe, France or what have you, which parts of the Europe the battles took place.
I'm trying to figure out how I missed this. I'm a World War II guy in terms of just a private interest, so I don't know how I didn't play these, but I never
Original
did.
Xbox,
Very
PS2,
excited.
and PC as well.
Yeah.
So now I just missed them. Sounds lovely.
So we've been the series. Obviously, there was a sequel that happened very quickly after the original on original Xbox, Road to Hill 30, I believe it was called. And then the series kind of lay dormant for a while, and then they did make Brothers in Arms 3, which ended up being called
Hell's Highway.
That's it. Thank you. Yeah, Brothers in Arms Hell's Highway for the Xbox 360 and PS3.
I did not play that one.
I did not play that one either, and then it went away.
Yeah.
Gearbox went on to make.
Because you guys didn't play it.
But then we had that trailer from E3 2012 maybe, and it was Brothers in Arms Furious 4, and that was the trailer that was very much.
Was it that recent? I thought it was even longer ago.
2011.
Anyway.
Yeah, it was modeled after. It was very much in response to sort of Inglourious Bastards.
Exactly.
And it was these 4 like sort of over the top cartoonish soldiers. Like one was like a Cherokee warrior, and one was this big beefy guy named Montana who had.
It was
a
kind
Gatling
of
gun.
MOBA-y before MOBAs took off, really.
Yeah, and that was the game that game got not canceled, but just sort of transformed into the shell of what Battleborn is now.
Right.
Okay.
Even to the point where Montana, that character from the original trailer, is one of the 25 playable characters in Battleborn. Yeah.
Okay. But so it almost ended up becoming Stereotype the shooter, but shifted away at the last second.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
good. I'm okay with that.
I when I first saw that game, I was kind of appalled that it was called Brothers in Arms because Brothers in Arms was so unique and special that I was like, why are we doing this?
Yeah.
And I actually thought, because I think that was around the time Inglourious Bastards had come out from Tarantino, and I actually thought if they just literally made this a Inglourious Bastards video game, it would probably do well.
I think they even started to shy away a bit after that. They may have dropped the Brothers in Arms title and may have just called it Furious 4.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you World War II is such a fertile ground for this kind of action-based, squad-based tactical shooter. There's so many different things you could do with it. I'm really intrigued by what direction they might take with this thing.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that the war happened all over the world in all kinds of weather, with all kinds of weapons, with all kinds of people, you could. I imagine there's still dozens of untapped angles that they haven't gone at it with yet.
And so Randy, in a speech at the Develop conference in the UK, said, quote, "I think the next Brothers in Arms game has to be authentic, and we have been working on that. I feel we have unfinished business there with both the fiction and the history, and I'd like to get into that. I spend a lot of time thinking about it." He continues, "Sadly, it takes a lot of resources, energy, and money to do what must be done, so it's not something I feel I could completely do alone. I need good partners for it, so we've been talking, not like the Aliens Colonial Marine situation, am I right? Is it hot in here? So we've been talking to great folks, but it's really putting all that together that's the limiting factor. Once we put all the partnerships together in terms of publishing, collaborators, and creatives, we can talk about it." And he finishes up by saying, "I feel like I'm on the brink of it, but we're not quite there yet. Once it happens, development will really take off, and then sometime after that, if we don't completely kill ourselves, we'll announce. But we're in the incubation phase with the next one there for sure."
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if this is Gearbox, because the way he's talking about it is maybe Gearbox wouldn't handle the bulk of the development.
That's how I interpret that as well.
They're obviously internally handling Battleborn, and then they just started Borderlands 3, whatever the next Borderlands game is.
They own, Randy's talked about, actually even very recently said, well, I didn't just buy Duke to put Duke Nukem Forever out.
Yeah.
They own Duke Nukem.
Yeah, they own that IP. Brothers in Arms, it's also weird because all the other games were published by Ubisoft, I want to say.
Correct.
And I feel like that. I don't know if that still exists. Like, I don't know if Ubisoft still has the rights to it.
Good question.
Yeah. Or if Gearbox owns the IP.
Or if Ubi has like maybe a first right of refusal on any future games.
Totally. I would love to see this happen. I mean, other than Company of Heroes, I guess, is one of the few games that still takes place in World War II. Like, we don't have like
that's largely been left behind. I mean, you don't have a lot of that anymore.
And we talk about this on the show all the time. There's always a pendulum that swings back and forth. Whether we're talking about the multiplayer flavor of the current age, where we went from in the early 2000s, late 90s, it was just fast action deathmatch, and then it went to team-based stuff, and then it went to co-op stuff, and now it started to come back to the quick, Halo 5 and the sort of faster action deathmatch, and it's the same thing, with the World War II genre. We were so exhausted by it after Call of Duty. What was the last one? 3?
Yeah.
But there's still so much we can do with that war. I mean, you can be the Chinese resistance fighting the Japanese in Manchuria.
But it's also just been an entire generation.
Yeah,
correct.
Exactly.
Generation. And that's the thing. Now we're pretty much, I think, I can't speak for everybody at IGN, but I think we're all nearing the collective breaking point of near future modern warfare type shooters, where it's like, okay, we get it.
Yeah.
And the pendulum is going to swing back.
Yeah.
And what Brothers in Arms would be a great way to have that new era of World War II games.
Absolutely.
Call Rocksteady, get them on the phone, make it happen. There we are.
Rocksteady?
Interesting.
Why not? Yeah, why not?
I feel like Rocksteady's that dev right now where it's like, well, they give them the keys to whatever they want.
Yeah, give them the keys whatever they want.
Well, they're owned by Warner Brothers, so I would bet the farm that they'll be working on some Warner Brothers property, because it's like Monolith got bought by Warner as well, and now they make Lord of the Rings games. Granted, a very good Lord of the Rings game, but I don't see.
No, I was being flippant and facetious. It's just that I've been on a couple of podcasts already this week, and I think every time I have this discussion, somebody brings up what Rocksteady should work on next. So,
the correct answers are either Superman or Batman Beyond.
No, the correct answer is Harry Potter.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
It's gonna happen.
Also, it's a WB property.
It could happen. It could happen.
A Rocksteady Harry Potter game would be everything I want in life.
I don't know who. I'm trying to think of a dev I would want to.
Who'd have the chops to pull
this
off
on?
well?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know who's done. I would have said, in terms of like really great storytelling, Jaeger with Spec Ops, but then we know Jaeger just sort of they got pulled off of Dead Island 2,
right? Which we talked about on last week's show.
And I guess Spec Ops wasn't the shooting in Spec Ops wasn't the reason, or the gameplay wasn't the reason you played.
Right, it was
played
the
it for everything
story,
around it. Yeah.
From the tactical end, I love the idea. You take something like XCOM. Or something like that, but the problem is there's no action vintage there. You got to have somebody that can do both these things together. So having like the old whatever Maxis evolved into that could be, but I don't know where you find the tool set for somebody that specializes in both these things.
Well, I'll tell you because you got to find somebody who's independent, who's not owned by somebody else, and thus is able to choose their own project, and has the right skill set, like you're talking about, Jared. What about? It seems to me like, speaking of the pendulum, that he doesn't want to make this kind of game. Like, he's going back to his roots. What about Cliff Bleszinski and Bosky?
Yeah.
Like, the guy's a brilliant designer.
Yeah.
He's free to do whatever he wants. He's got a new, which I think the game is a pure fast action deathmatch game, right?
Game. Yeah.
For PC.
Yeah, if that does well and he's able to like boost that team up, that could be super interesting.
Could be good. Yeah. But in any case, I think we can fairly interpret from Randy Pitchford's comments that I think we're looking at a minimum of 2018 for this game. Yeah. If it's only like an idea, not even pre-production, like if it's just like we're thinking about doing this, and it's 2015, you got to figure it's going to be a while.
Yep.
All right. Jared.
Yeah.
Star Wars Battlefront.
Woohoo!
That makes you happy?
Well, it potentially makes me happy. I was not at E3. I have not played Battlefront. Battlefront 1 and 2 are two of my favorite video games. I like a lot of what I've seen. I'm a little worried about it being Star Wars Battlefield still. I worry about that a little, frankly, because I'm not a huge fan of Battlefield.
Right.
But if this feels like a Battlefront game and not a Battlefield game, there's very little in life that makes me happier.
Well, we did get to play it at E3.
Yeah, and I played at Comic-Con.
Yep.
And and I'm not even, as I've said, I'm not a huge Star Wars guy. I mean, I enjoy it, but I'm not a super fan. And I came away from it thinking, wow, that really makes you feel like you're in the middle of a giant epic Star Wars battle, which is exactly what that game is supposed to do.
Yeah, it won. I mean, we gave a game a show and won all of us over. Yeah.
It seems like a beautiful thing. And of course, the Battle of Hoth has been done, or literally since the Atari 2600 has been depicted in video games. I think over a dozen times now. So you choosing that as a slice was very wise. It gives you a kind of a comparative context for the whole thing, and I liked what I've seen there.
Yeah. Jared, if you have an Xbox One, you might get a chance to play it earlier than others.
Earlier than others?
Yeah.
Well,
how much
Xbox
earlier?
One and EA Access
account.
Which I
there
might get just for this.
Well, that's what I was going to say is I can sense that tens of thousands of EA Access accounts, trial accounts will be made for just November and then canceled.
Many Bothans died to bring us this EA Access.
But Phil Spencer reconfirmed on Twitter, this wasn't technically news, but he made it explicitly clear that Xbox One owners will be the first to play Star Wars Battlefront via the EA Access program. We don't yet know exactly what that early access looks like, whether it's, we presume could it be 3 days early, 5 days early, 7 days early, and is it going to be, as they've done like with Battlefield Hardline, is it a time-based thing, like you get to play for 10 hours or what have you? But in any case, Xbox One is where the game will technically debut, which I find kind of hilarious.
Because it's a Sony-led game, right?
It's totally meaningless, but it is just kind of funny that Sony is
aligning
all its marketing with it. And
it's a little weird.
At the end of the day, you'll be playing it first on Xbox One.
I think a smart thing to do with this, especially to avoid everyone gets a membership and then cancels it immediately, would be sort of have weekends where it's like, hey, that Hoth battle is playable if you have early access in September or in August.
It's a great idea.
And have it just say, like, hey, Friday and Saturday, you can play this thing.
Jump right in and play right now.
Yeah, because, what we've played at E3 and then at what I played at Comic-Con, again, it was that sort of big team-based Hoth battle, and then there was this horde mode-ish thing on Tatooine.
Yeah, two-player co-op, which I didn't get to play.
Yeah, which I wasn't as crazy about as the Hoth thing.
Almost like a demo. Remember
those?
those?
Remember demos?
Yeah, remember demos? Those were great.
Yeah.
They made me get excited about games that I might buy later.
You mentioned earlier in the show, Jared, how if you've got an Xbox One, Ori and the Blind Forest is a game you should absolutely be playing.
Yeah.
If this were Xbox 360, we could say, go play the free trial of Ori and the Blind Forest, and if you don't take our word for how cool it is, but at least Microsoft is starting to go in that direction, which we'll get to later on in the Marketplace report. But so we're not sure of the scope of this early access, but you will get to play it first.
Exciting.
On the Xbox One.
Very cool.
But I think even if a ton of people do just get EA access for a month and then cancel it, it's still a win for EA because you're going to retain some of those people. Like if even 5% of those people say, "Oh, wow, this service is really good. I'm going to stick with this."
Totally.
That's money EA didn't have before.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sure that's the thinking behind it.
Yeah.
And,
so look for that. Yeah, if you already have EA access, you have that to look forward to, and if you don't, well, maybe you'll be one of those people that signs up for it sometime during the month of November.
I just hope we're not all trying to sign up for it the same day.
Just crash the service.
Yeah, let's hope EA's ready for it.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of EA, Destin's not here, so the segues fall to me. The horrible, just business-like segues.
Speaking of
the
Electronic Arts
Corporation, traded on the NASDAQ at whatever their abbreviation is. I don't know.
How about that Trip Hawkins? Yeah.
Yet another Xbox One bundle, Marty.
Yep. This time with the old John Madden. Madden.
Boom!
Boom!
Tough acting to acting.
Don't put me on a play. Terrified of flying.
Mutant turkeys.
Play your Madden bundle on the Madden Cruiser as we drive across the country. Boom!
Yeah, I don't know how many people this bundle's
Ace
really
is the place for the Madden Xbox One hardware bundle.
Mean footage. The bus is giving me. I need that to Acton.
Yep.
Not even like a even remotely credible impression of
not at
just
all.
yelling boom and then saying the things he sponsors.
Exactly.
And making fun of his fear of flying, which is kind of mean.
Which is totally
terribly
mean-spirited.
The fact that he had the gravitas, that he had the influence to never have to fly in an airplane and do that.
Yeah.
That's kind of, very few people command that kind of
that someone would want to be on a bus for that long.
That dude's carbon footprint, though, if we want to get green for a second, it's like that dude's carbon footprint's pretty intense.
That's a really good point.
I would love to see a real time over the past 30 years, where his bus has gone.
Here's how many species that John Madden has caused to go extinct from his CO2 emissions
from the bus.
instead of sharing a plane with 200 other people.
I love the idea of how many trips to the moon and back could he have done on his dumb magic school bus.
I wonder.
What are we talking about?
I have no idea what we're talking about. Oh, the Madden bundle. For $400, you're going to get an Xbox One, you're going to get Madden 16, you're going to get a year subscription to the old EA access that we just talked about.
Boom!
Boom!
Then you're all set for Battlefront.
You're set for Battlefront, and if you have EA access, you can play the game a week early. Madden. 5 days early? Yeah, 5 days early. Yeah. So on the 20th of August. Bundles are always great. I don't know how many people who don't have an Xbox One are going to jump on because of this.
But you forget that Madden is sort of in
huge.
that. It's in that. FIFA's bigger now because FIFA's so global. But in the U.S., which is of course Xbox One's strongest market, Madden's one of those games where there's the people that buy 2 games a year, Madden and Call of Duty, and then GTA on the years when that comes out.
And for a lot of people, Madden is the single best reason to own 2 controllers. I mean, people play online a lot, but Madden is something you do with your friends at home. It's something you get together, you sit down, and you play a game head-to-head, and it's wonderful. I actually really enjoy football games.
Yeah, and, Madden's really good. I mean, I played... it's such a quick impression. I can't, say anything definitive, but I played it at a pre-E3 event, and it's really sharp this year. Both the presentation and the gamelay seems. I was having a good time just jumping right into it.
Yeah, definely.
It's no Tecmo Super Bowl, though.
Well, what is? Bo Jackson just mauling everybody.
That's it.
Touchdown. I'm a little surprised. I know Microsoft has very intentionally downplayed all the TV functionality.
Yeah.
But wouldn't you think this would be the bundle to play up the NFL app thing where you can watch the red zone highlight clips and the fantasy football integration?
Yeah, I just think they barely even want to admit that you can plug your Xbox into your TV to play games on it at this point. That became so toxic that touching that ever again, I think they're worried. It's sort of like the vitality sensor. If you ever even mention in a room full of Nintendo people, they all go silent.
Yeah.
It's the same deal with a lot of the TV functionality built into the Xbox. It's just poison.
But in any case, so we've got the Madden bundle coming this holiday. There's already been a Forza Motorsport 6 bundle with a special console announced. The accidental announce from a couple months ago from Josh Holmes about we know there's a Halo 5 special edition console coming.
Was there a Gears bundle, or is Gears just the thing where the game is going to be free for everyone to buy?
So there is a Gears bundle. It's not a special console. It's just the regular black console. But so we got the Gears bundle.
Do you think there'll be a Tomb Raider thing?
Gosh, you would think with all the marketing muscle they're putting behind it, you would think yes.
Yeah.
But that's
comes to the bear you can fight.
A real life bear.
A real life bear that you can fight.
Bear.
That's how Bear Bryant got his nickname. You talk about the football coach. He fought a bear at a fair, in a ring, and the bear's muzzle fell off. No, he's wrestling the bear, and the bear's muzzle fell off and bit him in the shoulder.
Jesus.
And after that day, he was Bear Bryant.
Yeah. Because he was half bear.
Man fought a bear. Yeah, he gained the bear's powers.
Man Bear Pig.
Man Bear Pig.
Man Bear Pig.
Super cereal, you guys.
But randomly on Tomb Raider,
I
still get the feeling that game's going to slip. Something's got to slip this fall, and I don't know why. Maybe it's just because I haven't played it yet, and I'm just weird like that. Where I was like, if I haven't controlled a character in that video game, I'm worried about it coming up. Yeah,
it's not real.
It's not real. No Man's Sky wasn't real until a month ago. I don't know. Something is going to slip.
Okay.
We've been doing this long enough to where we know something will slip from fall.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just,
it does happen every year.
What is it going to be? Yeah.
But the question is, is it going to be you're talking about major first-party release?
Yeah.
And that Microsoft ships nothing in November? That Halo on October 27th is their last first-party release of the year? I don't know. I think it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Even if, we don't even know... remember there was a poopy multiplayer attached to the last Tomb Raider that was not good and nobody played it? Are they going to bother with that again?
Does that exist? Yeah.
Or if they are, would that be a thing where they'd go, it's October 1st. We kind of need to finish. Let's just get rid of that.
Let's just not do that. Yeah.
Let's just not do that anymore.
I don't know. That's interesting. I just feel like we've seen so much more of Halo than we have of Tomb Raider.
Yeah, we still
fair.
don't know all that much about it.
Yeah.
It's a kind, and maybe that's deliberate. Maybe they're trying to give us something to sink our teeth into immediately before release.
Totally.
You know, just trying to tantalize us.
Yeah,
which would be smart.
Just
So
my theories.
are you up for a bet on this, or is this just pure intuition on Marty's part?
Pure intuition. Give me.
Is it because there's snow and ice that you keep saying it's going to slip? I mean, is that really it? Is that
Jared,
I just wonder.
It's like Destin's still here.
It's that chair, isn't it? The chair is haunted.
I'm angry and Canadian. I'm angry and Canadian.
The haunted pun
wow,
chair.
What happened?
Yeah.
Oh goodness.
Yeah. I don't know. I just have a feeling. I don't know
Need
why.
an Altoid.
Jeez.
That was such a foul pun that it's actually soured your breath.
Good, thank you.
I'm good, thank you though. All right. So yeah, yet another Xbox One bundle, but hey, I love the fact that there's like 6,000 bundles to choose from because if you're gonna buy the console, you know it's picking up so much steam this year, and then you go, okay, I think I'm ready to go ahead and grab an Xbox. Well, cool. Which game do I want? Like, which
game do you want for
do
free?
I want?
Yeah, exactly.
All for that.
Yeah. But instead of spending $400 on a console, you can spend almost as much on just Halo 5 and a bunch of dumb tchotchkes that I don't want.
So people have actually been writing in, you know, because last week we harped on the dueling $200 collector's editions of Mirror's Edge, where we were not, well, actually we were split. Half of us were not a fan of the sitting, you know, deep meaning faith statue.
Yeah.
And then, but I think we were all pretty much in agreement that the Call of Duty Black Ops 3 mini fridge is amazing.
At least you feel like you're almost getting your money's worth there. I mean, you're going to go down to like Target and buy a mini fridge. It's not that much more expensive to buy the nifty gimmicky game mini fridge than it is to buy the regular plain white mini fridge.
How does that not ship with Call of Broody, a specific Call of Duty brew?
You're onto something.
That's a good point.
It's a light beer.
You put in your 2 weeks tomorrow.
Turning it in.
But yeah, so we haven't really touched on the $250 Halo 5 Collector's Edition, but people out there have been a little upset because if you're buying the Collector's Edition, you're probably a collector of physical things, such as the statue of Chief and Locke that comes with it. But interestingly, you don't get a physical disc with this. It's a download code.
Okay, so you get a box with a statue and a wish-granting leprechaun, but you do not get the game.
Everything.
Well, you get
but
the game. You get a code.
You get a code,
but you don't get the physical thing to put on your shelf.
But yeah, I don't quite get that one.
Yeah.
So that one does not make a lot of sense. Optical discs not expensive to press and put in boxes. Yeah. That's strange.
In response, Microsoft has responded to the fan outcry and will be offering a trade program. You can trade your unused digital code for a physical disc.
Is it possible in any reality that it's not? This has to cost more than putting the discs in the boxes would have. And now they have to hire people to answer the messages.
But it's also insane because. So you're gonna do this is the hardest of the hardcore fans who are paying $250.
$250 large is
so they go in the day the game comes out, and then are they just fine with waiting a week and a half to play the game because you're like, hey, here's my code, now I'm gonna wait for the game to be sent to me
and
while I
that's
play with my statue.
I do know that this collector's edition is like it's going on sale early.
Oh.
So because it's a digital code, a download code, and you just wait for the code to be activated.
Oh, interesting.
But still, like you're still right. Are they gonna Red Ring of Death style like send you a FedEx box
envelope they have to put your dumb code in?
Yeah, obviously you'll redeem the code online, but how quickly are they going to mail that physical copy out to you, and at what cost?
Yeah, I don't understand this video. But again, I'm being unfair. I don't understand spending $250 for a statue in a video game box. So.
There's never been a statue in all the years. I'm extremely lucky that I work at a place where we get all of these things and we unbox them and we show them off.
Yeah,
I don't think I've ever seen one where I've gone. That's one that's come with a game.
Yeah.
That I've said, yeah, that's totally worth $250.
Yeah.
I mean, there's the McFarlane Forward Unto Dawn Halo statue that's
cool.
That's just currently on display. That was like, I think that was $250 by itself. It was like a limited run of 500, and it's this massive, very heavy giant hunter with Chief on the back about to stick him with a grenade. That's kind of impressive, but that's something like that's never coming with a game.
Yeah.
Would you pay $250 for that giant Witcher statue we couldn't get in the elevator that Pablo had to cut in half?
No,
with
I
the
would
saw?
pay $250 for someone to take it away.
Yeah.
To get this.
It also
Please.
smells like asbestos.
It does smell really weird, doesn't it? It's a beautiful statue. It's really neat, but
that's what
he had to
it
cut
smelled
it in
like
half,
back then.
and it smells.
That's what the world
weird.
smelled like back then.
I'm a little worried
Back in
that I'm
Witcher
breathing in
times.
killer fiberglass every time I walk by it.
I don't know if I've ever paid more than $100 for a game. Like, I mean, Rock Band, when I bought it with all the instruments and stuff, was
Right.
I don't know,
180,
200, something like that.
that.
But like just for a game and stuff, like I don't know if I've ever spent more.
Yeah.
than
No, I don't want to
$50.
crap on our fans, though. I
No,
mean,
of course
people,
not.
you know, if you want to spend money for a statue, you think it's a beautiful statue. Vasilis had one of those giant Titanfall statues. You know,
Yeah, totally.
if you like it, great. It's just, it's not something I've really understood.
It's just also one of those you could buy the game for $60 and then buy 3 more games.
Well,
yeah.
and that's kind of what I was going to say is $250 is what the full band kit for Rock Band 4 is going to cost. So, like that gives you drums, a mic, a guitar, a copy of the game. You're all set for your friends to play.
It's just also $250. You're close to getting another console.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You could get a Wii U, or you're close to a
buy,
PS4.
You could buy a surplus Wii U from Nintendo directly
Yeah.
for less than that.
I am curious if anyone in the audience wants to write in and just, if you plan to buy it, like what is it about it that's enticing to you? And are you, the other part two, are you buying any other games this fall?
Yeah.
Or is that sort of, you're just super into Halo 5, you want the collector's edition, and you don't plan to buy any other games
I don't know.
this
It's
fall?
interesting.
In any case, at least Microsoft is listening to the fans and
Yeah.
now offering a chance to get that physical version should you so desire it.
Awesome.
Jared Petty,
Yeah.
special guest. Love having you.
Why, thank you. I feel very special.
I would like you, my friend, to take the marketplace report. What can we, besides the $250 Halo Collector's Edition, what else can we spend our money on that's out this week?
Well, I'll let you know. At retail, you could purchase F1 2015. I believe that's a game about them racing cars.
That is true.
They
The
go around
ones
the
that
tracks?
go left and right.
Right. They turn both ways.
Impossible.
That's right. No, it does occur. It can happen. Yep. Very little passing in that sport. In digital, Game of Thrones Episode 5, A Nest of Vipers, $5 on 360 and Xbox One. Special, you better not spoil it for me or I'll punch you
Have
in the
you
face
played
edition.
yet, Marty?
No, I'm
I
way
haven't
behind.
either.
I'm probably gonna wait till 6. I haven't played 3 even.
Oh, really?
So, yeah,
Okay.
I'm probably just gonna wait till 6. I don't know. I guess I might as well catch up now because 6 will probably be out.
I caught
in a
up
month or
on
two.
Tales from the Borderlands
Yeah.
Episode 3 last night. Liked it a lot.
Yeah.
That series is just strong.
Yeah, I'm just worried about 4 because the Curse of the Force.
Curse of the Forest?
Yeah.
No, I'm looking forward to this. My wife's playing through these right now, so she'll be
nice.
thrilled that this one's coming out.
Well, and Jared, if you watch the show, you know that the penultimate episode, which since this is a 6-episode season as opposed to the usual 5-episode Telltale series, with Game of Thrones, it's usually that second to last episode where all the stuff hits
where
the fan.
everything just
Everything
breaks
goes
loose. Yeah,
horribly
yeah.
wrong.
Although this season they altered that. I mean, Hard Home was the pre-penultimate episode, right? Hard Home was
I don't
2
know. I'll
episodes
take your
before
word for
What, the one with the big scary zombie battle?
Yeah, wasn't that episode 8 out of 10 this season?
remember.
Is it supposed
I
to
don't
9 out of 10?
remember either.
I think
It's
Hard
already-
Home was the first time they ever broke the pattern. But yeah, so I agree. So all kinds of insanity and craziness afoot. Game of Thrones. Don't spoil it for your friends. That's just mean. Then we have Tembo the Badass Elephant.
This
Not
game
to be
actually looks
confused-
really good.
So this was the game I was looking up just to make sure I was right. Developed by Game Freak, the creators of Pokemon.
That's awesome. Drill Dozer.
Yeah, Drill Dozer, published by Sega. It is a lot of people are saying the best Sonic game in
I've heard
like
that as well.
15 years.
It's also really pretty too.
yeah, super
The art's
pretty.
gorgeous.
It's a 2D side scroller, all about going fast.
Oh, I'm excited. So not to be confused with Dumbo, the racist Disney elephant from long ago.
Well,
no, okay,
jeez,
there we
no.
are.
It's not
Okay,
the
so
elephant's
just
fault.
got-
It's
just
just an
got real.
animal.
Yeah, it's not his fault. It was the writers.
Yeah. But the important thing here too, free trial.
Yes.
We're back to the Halcyon days.
All right, there we are.
So
Look at
that's-
that.
yeah,
Free
go
trial.
Try it.
Yeah, download that. See if any of the things we said are true because none of us have played it yet.
I also love the $13.50 price point.
That's
It's
if-
a $1.50 off if you're a gold member.
Oh, there
it's
we go.
15 if you're
Okay.
if you
All
don't have gold.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Then we have Slash Dash, the 4-player top-down party game for $10, which I know nothing about.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay,
But
all right.
it's half slashing, half dashing.
This is the title of the game. No time to explain. No Time to Explain, $15, but it has a trial version.
Yay!
It's a game about shooting the ground, putting on weight, and setting your body on fire. So that's my life. Okay, there we are. Blast yourself through time and alternate realities to rescue your future self from a giant crab sent by your evil time twin from another dimension. Yeah, that's pretty much Thursday night for me.
Yeah. Why aren't there any original video game stories?
I know. I'll tell you what. How derivative.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. So No Time to Explain.
There's a trial version.
Yeah, that's intriguing.
Go try it.
I'm a big fan of games with evil crabs. I like evil crabs. Crabs are great enemies.
My suggestion for this week, from hop up on the soapbox for a second, is everybody go download and try all these games that have trial versions so that Microsoft sees those statistics and says, oh, we should do trial versions for more games. And then we can finally work our way back to where we were 9 years ago.
Of all the dumb things that shouldn't have been changed going from 360 to Xbox One, that's one of them. I'm like,
that was
come
a tough one.
Yeah, I agree. I don't get that.
And I mean, I get that games are games, right? There's not like a,
we don't have the arcade.
But still, if it's... Let's get that trial version going.
Also in Marketplace, games with gold for July, Assassin's Creed 4, Black Flag, the best Sid Meier's Pirate sequel ever, and also So Many Me for Xbox One, Gears of War 3. So Many Me. I don't know. It's the story of Mini-Me. It's Telltale's epic retelling of the life of Mini-Me. His birth from the body of Dr. Evil. He's being
I've
shunned.
seen him at E3 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
Saw him last year at I think it was in the Ubisoft booth, and I saw him this year. I can't remember where. But he goes to E3. He loves E3.
Yeah. Good for him.
Yeah, he's a gamer.
Miniature me.
Cool.
Excellent. Well, we'll be right back, do a little trivia, and then be on our way. Be right back. All right, a little trivia time. Let me check the scoring here.
Ruh-roh.
I believe, Marty, this is your chance with no Mitch or Destin.
Yeah.
Your chance to catch up.
I still think I'm a ways behind because I haven't been here in a couple weeks.
Jared, you can get on the board just, out of respectability.
Absolutely.
No
may I
pressure.
bequeath my points to someone else if I win?
Ooh, maybe you can
sell
sell them to the highest bidder
I'm good with
in
that.
the office.
All right.
So our trivia question this week comes to us from John Cooper. He lives in Texas. His gamer tag is Dr. Chaos PhD. That's chaos with a K. And spaces between the words. So he's got a PhD in...
Just calls him mischief.
Yeah.
That's it. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's almost like the Get Smart spelling except for the H. Like it's almost the Eagle organization from Get Smart, but not quite.
Maxwell Smart.
Yeah.
Voice of Inspector Gadget.
Barbara Feldon, Agent 99. I had very important part of 11-year-old Jared's
Kind of
life.
forgotten now, but the Steve Carell reboot movie was actually pretty good.
it
It was
wasn't too
cute.
bad.
Yeah, it was cute. Yeah, I think they did an okay job with that. Mel Brooks got his start writing on Get Smart. That was one of his early jobs.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Fun tangent. Anyway, John Cooper from Texas has won this week just by having his question chosen. I think it's a fun one. He asks, after the Xbox 360 was updated to allow the installation of games to the hard drive, which of the following AAA titles was strongly recommended against doing that?
Ooh.
I actually did remember this one, I will say, but let's see if you guys... Was it Cameo, Gears of War 2, FIFA 12, or Halo 3? So we're looking for the game where the creators of the game actually said, yes, there's an install feature for Xbox One, but we actually recommend you do not use it for this game.
Just for fun, I'm going to say Cameo. Even though all the rest of these have pretty close Microsoft connections, and it seems weird that Cameo would do that. I think
We lost it.
We lost it.
I noticed.
Do we lose that Get Smart digression? Oh my god. That's almost like the Get Smart spelling.
Then it breaks right out. As soon as you started on Get Smart, it died.
Hold on.
That's almost like the Get Smart spelling, except for the H. It's almost the Eagle organization.
All right, let me cut it off at the right point.
It's like the Get Smart spelling, except for the H.
Not there.
Yeah.
Right there. Okay. Try this again.
Do we get to talk about Barbara Feldon again?
Oh, let me check where there's a dumb edit point here now too in the video. All right, 3, 2. All right, so enough of the Get Smart. Get back to the question at hand, which comes to us from John Cooper in Texas. Again, I'm not going to repeat history, but we'll just go down the same rabbit hole over and over. Anyway, it's a good question. I actually knew this one. I did remember this.
I did not.
I will be curious if you guys are able to recall it as well. His question is this. After the Xbox 360 was updated to allow the installation of games to the hard drive, which of the following AAA titles was strongly recommended against doing so? So we've got Cameo, Gears of War 2, FIFA 12, or Halo 3. Which of those did the creators of the game say, yes, this is a feature that the system has now, but we actually recommend you do not do that with our game?
I defer to the guest.
You defer to the guest? Thank you for deferring. Yeah. Wow, how well deferred. How kind of you. I'm going to say Cameo, purely because the image of a room full of British people panicking about their game not working is funnier than the other three. So I like that. And even though FIFA might have been a bunch of British people too, I'm going to go with Cameo just for the look of terror in the eyes of rare employees discovering their game didn't work.
You're going with Cameo. Okay. I'm leaning against Cameo just because it was a launch game. Mm-hmm. And I feel like it would have been something that was coming out closer when this feature was debuted, which I don't remember when. But I feel like it's not going to be FIFA either because I feel like the feature was a couple of years before. This would have been, I guess, 2011 for FIFA 12. So I'm between Gears and Halo. I'm going to go with Gears 2.
Okay, so this is Gears 2.
So
using my dumb logic.
Currently, the standings are Mitch and Destin tied with 11 points for the year in the quest for the Dookie, which is it's behind me up on the top shelf now. You can see it
being guarded by a guild war.
Yeah. So Mitch and Destin with 11 points. Marty, you're at 9.
All right.
Chance to gain some ground here, tighten up the race a little bit.
Unless I mucked up.
You will not be doing that, I'm afraid.
Damn
and Jared, no points for you either. It's actually Halo 3.
Halo 3.
It was the way the engine was just designed, the way they stream their levels and such. Bungie recommended that you do not install Halo 3 to the hard drive.
Well, there we go.
So John Cooper, Dr. Chaos PhD.
You stumped
That's
us.
his gamer tag. Yes, extra brownie points for stumping the panel here.
Nicely done.
And if you would like to win a prize of some sort, usually I've got a download code for something, send your Xbox-related trivia question, include 4 multiple-choice answers, note the correct one, to where, Marty Sleva?
It is unlocked at IGN.com.
Correctamundo, my friend. Time to hit the road as the clock strikes 2 p.m. here. I haven't had lunch yet. I'm going to gnaw off probably half of this table.
One or all of my arms.
I'm very meaty.
I respect you too much to consume you.
Well, there's plenty of me. I'd probably survive.
I'll wait till we have a plane crash in the Andes before I start salivating.
Yeah, I'm worried I'm the first one to go in that scenario. I really am.
Let's plug some stuff. We'll start with IGN Prime. That's the excellent service which benefits us by helping keep the lights on, benefits you by turning off ads on desktop and mobile devices on IGN. You can sign up at IGN.com/Prime. It's $30 for a year. That's like 1/8 of the Halo 5 Collector's Edition.
Yeah.
So you won't even notice it. Would love it if you would subscribe there.
Yeah,
Jared
that
Petty,
IGN Prime's nice. I like it.
It actually is. I've got it. They flipped it on for me, and God, I can never go back now. It's just like, no ads before videos. Thank God. Jared Petty, what are you up to on IGN that we should be checking out? Where can we follow you on social media?
You can follow me on social media at Petty, Jared, PettyCommaJared on Twitter. Right now I'm working on a summer reading list for IGN, which I think will probably be live around the time this goes up. Nice. And I like reading books. There's some neat books to read. Working on an editorial piece that'll be up this week or early next. A couple other things. Really having a good time. And always on ye old IGN wikis. Continue to watch IGN play Star Wars. We're rolling more of those out soon. Just all kinds of fun things happening.
Sweet. Marty Sleva.
Yep. I'm at McBiggity, 2 G's and 2 T's. I don't know what to plug. I'm just going to plug the wide breadth of IGN shows that we now have.
You're on every single one of them.
I'm pumping the brakes. But yeah, Mitch
you are the Samuel L. Jackson of IGN.
The IGN Cinematic Universe, podcast Cinematic Universe. Mitch just launched Overclock, which is our PC podcast.
Overclocked. It's past tense, right? We've already done it.
We've overclocked.
We have already overclocked. We are not being entreated to overclock. Rather, we have already done so.
We have Miranda Leads Up Anime Club, which Jared and I have both been on. Jose has NVC, which is a Nintendo podcast. I help host Podcast Beyond, which is a PlayStation podcast. We have Game Scoop. We've got a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, there's some good stuff
out.
My goodness. Well, you do a great job on all of them, my friend.
Thanks, man.
You can find me on this show, as you already have. Twitter is a place to come find me as well. That is at DMC_Ryan. I am not wearing one of my own T-shirts today, but
don't buy a Rift shirt.
Yeah, I have some T-shirts that are pretty cool that are made for gamers by me. So
they're quite groovy.
Yeah, take a look at my Twitter profile. You'll see a link there. IGN first. I'm super stoked. It's No Man's Sky this month. Again, we actually don't know about the Xbox version. We covered off on this last week. From their extremely careful wording, I think it is coming to Xbox. That's purely my own speculation. That is not insider knowledge. Do nobody make a NeoGAF thread.
Just don't go to NeoGAF.
But yeah, for now it's PS4 and PC. I'm guessing it's going to come to Xbox later. But point is, it's a really incredible game.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's piece, which actually by the time anyone sees this will already be up. It's Sean Murray, the founder of the studio and the programmer on the game. The guy's. The more I talk to him and the more I've sort of observed him, he is clearly, I don't know if he's quite in the John Carmack territory, but the guy is a genius in his own.
Oh, he's one of those, like, you're the smartest guy in a room full of really smart guys.
One of those people that just lives in another place.
So the point is, the new video on IGN, it's called "How the Universe Works" No Man's Sky, How the Universe Works. It's Sean showing and explaining how all the procedural generation, all the algorithms, you'll hear him use the word maths a lot, but there's a point towards the end of the video that's, the reason I like the video is it builds and builds. It sort of starts where he's sort of explaining this and explaining that. He shows you the editor that they use to help build the game and generate stuff. By the end of the video, you're just like, what is happening? So please check that video out. And then we'll be kicking off, well, I guess we'll talk more about August's IGN first when I get back next week. But that will be hopefully of interest to everyone.
Yep.
That's my hope.
I think it is cool.
But yeah, apologies in advance for nothing but East Coast pizza, baseball, and other personal interest kind of tweets.
How good the bagels are.
Now, pour out a slice of pizza for me while you're there.
I will, for sure.
Pour it out right yourself.
I had the distinct honor, I might add quickly, of introducing Jared Petty to New York pizza.
Yeah.
I watched him eat it for the first
GTA
time in his life.
That was a great day.
Just the look, it's priceless. It was. I feel honored to have been your vessel.
I felt ridiculously lucky to have you. I'd never been to Manhattan. Here I have this perfect tour guide, and he's just like, we'll start this trip to New York with the best, most succulent pizza you've ever put in your mouth, and that was just wonderful.
But do you remember what we did?
Yeah,
you didn't believe me. I said we will throw a rock.
Yeah,
and we'll go to a corner, any corner,
a random street vendor, little pizza parlor. Just stick it in the oven, pull it out, and just like. Yep, this is, and I think the pizza was like 40 cents for the slice or something.
I don't know. It was $1.
Yeah, it was ridiculously cheap. It was amazing,
and it was the size of your head. That's the good.
I have a big head.
Yeah,
big head, big pizza,
big slice.
That's a next shirt idea. Big head, big pizza.
Big pizza. IGN.com. Anyway, yeah, I look forward to.
You think you're inventing Dick Tracy characters now?
The Apple Watch made part of Dick Tracy real.
Yeah,
so cool.
Did.
Yeah.
Love it.
Although Dick Tracy didn't have to have a big phone in his pocket that did all the real work.
He did not. He was totally independent of any other device. But in any case, yeah, we'll be back with the show regular time next week, barring some catastrophic flight delay that grounds me in Newark for God knows how long. But that is the plan for the Reverend himself, Jared Petty. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me. I love being on here. I really do appreciate the invitation.
Everybody loves you.
I love this audience. The Unlocked audience are extraordinarily kind human beings. I hop into the group quite a bit, and they're just wonderful people.
That is a fact. Marty Sleva, thank you as always, my friend.
My pleasure.
And my name's Ryan McCaffrey. Most of you get the show on iTunes. You just search Podcast Unlocked in the iTunes Store search field. If you're not already a subscriber, you can just subscribe to it there, and then it'll be fed to you each and every week. Also, on that note, I want to actually congratulate the Unlocked audience. You guys made Hunt the Truth the #1 video game podcast last week after we mentioned it on the show.
That is fantastic. I love that.
I got so many great tweets of people who, I guess, I don't want to say Microsoft did a poor job of messaging Hunt the Truth.
You didn't do a great job.
But, like, a lot of people,
just didn't know
heard it. They heard about it for the first time from us last week.
Yeah.
And I'm just happy to have turned those people onto it. It's such a great 13 episode podcast series, which is coming back for a second season in September.
That's great.
So,
that's really cool.
So good. So yeah, most of you get us on iTunes, where you can also find the Halo. What would you even call it?
The podcast?
Yeah, what would you call Hunt the Truth?
It's like cereal with
it's a
Mjolnir armor.
It's not a viral thing. It's not a.
I don't know. It's almost like it's expanded
ARG,
universe stuff. Honestly, it's.
I guess that's probably the best way to put it. It's a
great Microsoft expanded universe.
Yeah,
it's a great palate cleanser and appetite wetter for Halo 5.
For Guardians. Yeah.
All right, we'll see you all next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.